New details in the hunt for evidence in the Gilgo Beach serial killings. Now investigators wrapping up their search of the home of Rex Heuermann, the New York architect charged with murdering at least 3 women. Prosecutors today saying no remains were found on the property, but they're still looking.
We have obtained a massive amount of material, all of which has to be cataloged and analyzed, and it's going to take quite some time. Specifically, there was nothing of note taken from the backyard as far as remains. There is a whole entire trace analysis that we have to go through with the house with regard to hair fibers, DNA, blood, which we'll just have to await the results on.
So although no remains were found, prosecutors did say a number of disturbances in the ground did lead to that excavation of Heuermann's backyard. They also say that Heuermann's family could actually return to the home today. ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett joining us now for more. So Brad, a couple of questions here. First of all, investigators said they were working off of this theory that the suspect committed at least some of the killings in his home, even though no remains were found in the backyard or in the house to this point. What kind of information would lead to this theory that they had initially?
If they have victims or other individuals that he had approached that were escorts and their phones ping in or near his house, that would be one indicator. Did neighbors and or CCTV pick up someone going in or out of his house? My initial thoughts would be that killing someone in his house is one thing, burying them in the backyard or near his property is another, because if you only go by his behavior previously, it looks like he's been very careful about taking remains and placing them several miles, at the very least, from his house. But I think that those factors, I think, would have driven law enforcement to dig up the backyard, and probably was a prudent thing to do.
So what do you think they did gather here, even though they say they didn't find any remains? And what could that lead them to?
Serial killers are notorious of keeping things like memorializing the death of one of their victims, from clothing of the victim to jewelry to even their driver's license and IDs. Cell phones, we know that he's taken the cell phones in more than one of these cases, according to the police. All of those things, have potential DNA, fingerprints, etc. The person mentioned earlier from the department, the police department, about trace evidence. That's clearly important. They probably did scrapings. They took items they thought they could get hairs and fibers off of. Now, a lot of that obviously would be family members, but they might find something other than that. They also commented, and this is a point you have to look at, that the house was cluttered. I have searched countless hoarders' houses, and it's a nightmare, because sorting through what is junk and what could be relevant is really time-consuming. I suspect that's why they were in the house so long. But the point being, if they're thorough, if they take samples, they might get somewhere in identifying somebody.
Well, we're going to keep following it. Brad, appreciate your insight as always.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.